So welcome back to Return of the Disc. This is part 2 of the Film Noir series. I'll be discussing films from the 80s and 90s that fit the requirements for a film noir, but also take it to another level. So let's get started. The first film that I've chosen this week is from Fun City Editions, which is a Vinegar Syndrome partner label. This film is called Cutter's Way. John Hurd, he gives honestly an Oscar performance here as Alex Cutter, and his best friend John Bone, played by Jeff Bridges. They have so much history together. They are not alike at all. Bone is more of a, he's the handsome, gets away with things, womanizer. Cutter is a Vietnam vet who came back injured. He has one arm, one eye, and we find out in a revealing scene, one leg. So his whole left side is messed up. But that doesn't keep Cutter down. He keeps going. He's a heavy drinker, highly opinionated veteran. He's married to Mo, who has history with Bone and Cutter. And it's implied that Bone and Mo almost got together, but Cutter got in there and married her first. All three are very close, and Mo has her problems, and she struggles with, the way Cutter is now, coming home from Vietnam, and Cutter returning home as an injured soldier of a war that was looked down upon. It's not easy for Cutter to be in this world. So one night, Bone is leaving a hotel after having fun with a woman, and he sees a dead body, and then a car comes by and almost hits him. The next day, they go to a fair, and Bone notices J.J. Cord, who's one of the richest men in the town, and he spots him hey, I saw that guy the night I saw the body. This all springs, the whole thing, the citing the J.J. Cord and all that, the rich get richer, the rich have the poor down, and all this normal man, stick it to the man stuff. That's Cutter's motto, and Cutter's we can get the bastard. We can go get this guy. So Cutter becomes sort of this detective, and he comes up with these schemes and ways to blackmail Cord and try to get him to admit things, and there's clues that go on, and people think he's crazy. People think that Cutter is full of conspiracy theories and all this other BS, and they don't believe him. They won't believe him. They think he's a crazy, drunk Vietnam veteran. Cutter stands his ground. He does convince Bone to go with him to a point, and then Bone bails on him. He's I can't go through with this, man. It's not cool. I have a reputation. And Cutter's screw you then. I'll do it myself. Bone goes and ends up sleeping with Mo. And then tragically, the house burns down. Cutter is livid at this point. Goes full on Cord. And he confronts Bone as well for being there with Mo the last night. And Bone says that Mo was depressed and all that stuff, and so anything could have happened. It could have been an accident, but Cutter is dead set that it's Cord, and I won't tell you what happens. Now, as far as a film noir, you have your detective story, you have your murder mystery. This is totally classifies as a noir. You have the murder mystery, the conspiracies, the detective work here that Cutter's doing. As much tragedy there's a lot of great humor. John Hurd is wonderful as Cutter. Jeff Bridges is great as Bone. He's kind of a schmuck. He's kind of this, goody good two-shoe, I'm too good for this type of thing. We shouldn't be doing this. He's great. The acting is phenomenal from top to bottom. But there's a particular scene at a carnival where Bone is trying to win a stuffed animal, and it's one of those shooting things with a BB gun, and Cutter's what are we doing here? What are we waiting around? I've been trying to win this stuffed animal, and Cutter's you've been here for 30 minutes. Cutter takes out a real gun, shoots the target, and is give him the freaking stuffed animal. Let's go. It's hilarious. That's the kind of guy Cutter is. Highly recommend Cutter's Way, and this new edition by Fun City Editions. Look at this cover. So good. It's an embossed here, so there's Cutter on the front, Bone on the back. Slip cover. I used the reversible sleeve. There's that. There's a nice booklet in here about the film. Pictures. Everything from behind the scenes. And there's J.J. Cord. There's Cutter on the front. That's the big showdown at the end. But yeah, this is a great set. Loaded with special features. This is a new 2K restoration from its 35mm into positive. So it looks like a film reel. It's a very good transfer. I was very satisfied with the way this looks. Mo's Way, a newly filmed video interview with star Lisa Eichhorn, who plays Mo. From Cutter and Bone to Cutter's Way, filming a newly filmed video interview with former UA Classics exec Ira Ditchman, an archival interview with director Ivan Passer, a lot of archival interviews in here, a lot of commentaries, and this essay, which is inside the thing as well. So you're getting a lot for your money here. And if you're a big fan of Cutter's Way, this is the one to pick up. So let me know below, have you guys seen Cutter's Way? Let me know in the comments. I highly recommend it. You've seen Scarface, directed by Brian De Palma. You've seen John Travolta come back in Pulp Fiction. But have you seen Blowout? In the enthralling Blowout, brilliantly crafted by Brian De Palma, John Travolta gives one of his greatest performances as a film sound effects man who believes he has accidentally recorded a political assassination. To uncover the truth, he enlists the help of a possible eyewitness to the crime, played by Nancy Allen, who may be in danger herself. With its jolting stylistic flourishes, intricate plot, profoundly felt characterizations, and gritty evocation of early 1980s Philadelphia, Blowout is an American paranoia thriller unlike any other, as well as devilish reflection on movie making. We start out at this sleazy house of women and men having sex and topless women and what looks to like a giallo film right out of Dario Argento's book, with the hand with the knife through the window and the killing, and then we get into the bathroom and we see a Hitchcock-esque shower scene, and then all of a sudden we cut to a screening room and it's John Travolta watching with some of the producers, looking at the sound effects and critiquing a scream. They didn't get the scream right. These guys are doing the sound mix for a sleazy B picture. Wow, what an intro. I mean, I really was like, what am I watching? The idea of a sound man, not only is he a sound guy for movie pictures, it's like the sleaziest pictures. It's like the B movies, you know, the adult films of the time, the sleazy horror movies. He's not doing high class pictures here. But we find out that John Travolta's character has a story, a tragic story of, you know, he was working for the FBI. He put a wire on somebody and it went horribly wrong. That he found the person hung by the wire in the bathroom, in this shocking flashback, going back to how this begins, where John Travolta's out recording sounds on a bridge. Beautifully edited scene between the animals, and the sound design of this film is just crazy. Because you hear the frog, you hear the owl, and then all of a sudden you hear the tire screeching of a car, and it's coming in, and it smashes into a river. John Travolta's on top of the bridge recording sound, and this car comes into the river. So Travolta jumps into the river and saves him. And in the background, we see this photographer guy sneak off too. He saves Nancy Allen, goes to the hospital, becomes friends with her. He's like, you know, I have audio of this, and it doesn't sound like it was a blowout. It sounds like there was gunshot, and the tire got shot. And then it blew. Sounds like there was some sort of like political setup here. In the background here, it's set in Philadelphia, and they're having this liberty celebration for the governor election. So all this political backdrop here. And then there's this Liberty Bell killer on the loose too, who goes around and he's been cutting up women and stuff like that. So you get a little mystery, giallo, Hitchcockian type stuff here. Travolta becomes our detective. People think he's crazy, but he's convinced that it's a gunshot. And I love that the set designs in this are just so of the time, with the analog technology, the sound recording devices. You see the sound reels, you see the film reels. It's like it's from a different world now that we have all this digital technology, but it's just so fantastically well made by De Palma. I think it's one of his best films. And then it's revealed, it's not really giving away too much, but John Lithgow is in on the assassination. John Lithgow is the bad guy trying to cover the tracks. So he goes in, changes the tire so that the gunshot looks like a blowout rather than a gun hole. He tries to track down Nancy Allen, but he keeps killing like the wrong women. And it leads to this crazy callback to John Travolta and the whole wire incident. It just leads to this fantastic finish and this glorious ending shot. Fantastically well made movie. Love this movie. I think this movie gets better each time I watch it. This is a new 4K UHD restoration with 2.0 surround DTS HD master audio track. I wish this had an Atmos track. I think this deserves it, but this is a great presentation. It is an upgrade from the Blu-ray. I was a little cautious because I was like, it doesn't look that different in the beginning, but when you get to the hospital and all the different colors and the neon lights, they really pop in this. So it's definitely worth the upgrade. All the same special features from the Blu-ray edition are here. Fantastic packaging, as always, from Criterion. You get the nice booklet. And this was approved by De Palma, too, so it's, you know, it's legit, guys. Anyway, if you're looking for one to pick up this November, Blowout is a must-have. What do you guys think of Blowout? Let me know below in the comments. Larry Fishburne gets a starring role in Deep Cover, directed by Bill Duke on Criterion, guys. Let's check it out. Film noir hits the mean streets of 1990s Los Angeles in this stylish and subversive underworld odyssey from veteran actor-director Bill Duke. Lawrence Fishburne stars as Russell Stevens, a police officer who goes undercover as John Hull, the partner of a dangerously ambitious cocaine trafficker, played by Jeff Goldblum, in order to infiltrate and bring down a powerful Latin American drug ring operating in LA. But the further Stevens descends into the ruthless world of money, violence, and power, the more delusional he becomes. Bill Duke, I've always seen him as a character actor. He was in Predator, Commando. He's in a lot of things. But here he's directing, behind the camera. And this is a stylish, colorful film noir, narrated by Russell Stevens, so we get his perspective through the whole movie. Fishburne's narration is so good in this. It really paints a picture of like not wanting to succumb to temptation. So we start out in Cleveland, where we see Russell Stevens as a young boy, and his dad is like a cocaine dealer, and he gets shot in the middle of Cleveland streets, and Russell witnesses this on Christmas. Cut forward to Lawrence Fishburne, Russell Stevens, getting his new assignment as a private investigator, and has to go pretend to be a drug dealer. And it slowly unravels, and he meets Jeff Goldblum, who's in with it, and the Latin American cocaine dealership, and the whole LA cocaine ring at the time in the 90s. And the more he gets into it, the more he succumbs to the temptation. You know, he promised himself he wouldn't become his father. And there's a pivotal moment in this where he's got to decide. He's got to make that decision. Like, do you do this for the future of society, or do you stick to your morals? And it's your job too, because you're a private undercover investigator, and this is your assignment. So you have to like act the act and walk the walk. He really struggles with this decision, and I thought this is a fantastic character piece on that level. Bill Duke's style in this, the colors are great, the blues, the greens, the purples, the way that it's edited. There's a Hollywood sign transition, so you cut into the Hollywood sign and you cut in. You see Larry Fishburne walking, see his angle on the side of his face, and there's a lot of like 3 zooms in, 3 zooms out type of editing here. Really stylized film that really, I think it really captures that film noir, but turns it on its head and makes it more contemporary, because you still have the narration, you still have the crime, you still have the conflict of our protagonist, but then you have the new flavor, the new style filmmaking by Bill Duke. You know, you have, instead of black and white and shadows and stuff, you have the highlighted greens, the blues, the reds, the crazy color dynamics, almost like a giallo, but it's like a neon noir, becoming its own subgenre of the noir genre. And I love the style of this film, and the soundtrack is amazing. The movie, however, it has some good moments, but it also drags at times. I really think they could have trimmed 10 minutes out of this film, and it would have been even better. It's still worth checking out for the performance of Larry Fishburne. Great. I mean, he is so good in this, and he faces so much conflict and dilemma, and some of it's resolved and some of it's not. And the ending of this is very powerful ending. So I highly recommend Deep Cover if you guys haven't seen it. This is a 4K digital restoration, and by the way, this is one of my favorite covers of the Criterion edition. This is an amazing cover. It just kind of gives you the vibe of the film, how corrupt crime life, money, cocaine can be. It's a phenomenal cover here. New interviews with Bill Duke, an AFI seminar with Bill Duke and Lawrence Fishburne, new conversations, a lot of commentaries, and an essay here as well. So if you guys are looking for a nice spin on the film noir genre, Deep Cover is your choice. So let's recap. Let's see, how would I rank these films? Okay, my number one for this week has got to be Blowout. I think Blowout gets better and better on each rewatch, and it's masterfully directed by Brian De Palma. Number two, Cutter's Way. Great character study and a great mystery. Also a really interesting message. So I definitely like the acting and the performances as well as the mystery. Deep Cover. This is a stylized take on the film noir genre. Great direction by Bill Duke. Great performance by Lawrence Fishburne. So that'll do it for my film noir series. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know below which movies you like the best. This has been Return of the Disc. I'm Dan. For more Return of the Disc, visit returnofthedisc.com. Check out the audio version of today's show, available on all major podcast platforms. And be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel.